Hey,
Nice.
hey, Jared, how you doing today?
I'm good. I love the backdrop, man. I'm a horror movie fanatic.
I'm big time too, big
I
time too.
see.
And it's the greatest time of the year's coming up, dude. Halloween.
Hey, hey. I might be a zombie.
Coming back from the dead. Um, Now you were really emotional last night when you left the house. How are you doing this morning, Jared?
Hey, man, I'm taking it all in. Obviously, it's one of those things that it's so bittersweet. You're happy that you did what you did. You're happy that it's over at this point. But the contrary to that is like obviously going into this game you wish to make it as far as possible and that being the end or at least the jury house at least so taking that in is hard but like I said I'm taking the good with the bad.
Now, you mentioned this before when you were, on the block and everything of that nature. Was you being so upset last night partially because you're leaving your mom behind, you're leaving Blue behind, and and how their games will be going forward?
Yeah, for sure. More than anything, I knew Blue had it, and I know my mom got it too. I don't want to
Yeah,
discredit her by any means necessary, but it's just like being a son in that house is just like
yeah.
I felt like this was my moment to try to move forward and protect my mom and show her that regardless of what happens, I got you through everything. And I think just that moment of leaving and seeing her behind, and just knowing that she lost her only person in the house that she could trust 100%,
Yeah.
it hit a little different.
Now, I don't want to know actually all the intricate details, but how did you get cast on the show? Did the producers approach your mom and then you kind of joined? Did you apply? How did that all come about? Because people are very curious about. I mean, your mom has an established career on these shows and done very well.
Right. Right. Thank you. I appreciate that first and foremost. But secondly, this was all through myself. I applied for the show. I
Right.
went through all the hoops and bounds that everybody else had to go through, and the same process that everybody else did. And it's the same one that I did. And luckily, I was blessed enough to get the opportunity to come and play.
Now, again, your mom has had a very successful career on these shows. Um, did you ever feel like you were under that cloud that you had something to live up to? Because she's done very well.
Yeah, but very early on in the game, she told me, "Hey, make your own decisions. Do what you
Right.
feel like you need to do, and create your own legacy here. Don't live under me, and honestly, listen to me, obviously, but you got to make your own decisions, and you got to become your own player. And regardless, I'm gonna be happy for you and proud of you as whatever it is that you're doing, however far you go. So, yeah, it was always kind of in the back of my mind, like, hey, I want to live up to that name, but very quickly I kind of dropped that attitude and was just like, you know what, I got to play this game to further us in this game as much as possible, and whatever that is whatever that looks like is what it is.
Now, how was it? I mean, I can imagine my son being in the house with me. How was it like being in there with your mom? Just, not only playing with your, I mean, you have this whole game dynamic going on, but then you also have the personal dynamic relationship.
Right.
Now it's like, I maybe not want to do that because mom's here, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That part of it was really funny. That part of it I found comical. Honestly, that was the best part of. That was one of the best parts of it is trying to separate relationships in the house from my mom seeing, because at the end of the day, not everybody's as open as is as open with mom about relationships, but
Right.
believe it or not, before this, me and my mom talked about like 5 times a day, every single day, Monday through Sunday. She
Yeah.
knew exactly what I was into, who I was interested in, and what my personal life was like. So it really didn't do much for me. Honestly, what made it worse was not being able to talk to her about it. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
Well, yeah, how hard was it keeping that secret too? I mean, because you did enact a little strategy there, saying, "Well, I'm going to call her Mama Sari and Mama Fee to kind of
Yeah.
like mitigate that." Was how hard was that at times to keep that secret?
It was super hard, especially in just regular conversations. We sit in the room and I'm like, hey, mom, what you? And I'm like, oh, I can't say that. I'm like, hey, mom, Masuri, you know what I mean? And it was really hard, but being in that house for so long and having to adapt to, acting as if she wasn't my mom, it was something that weirdly enough, I actually picked up on. And after a while, it became a little bit easier in the latter days of my game there.
Now, this has been talked a lot, quite a bit by people who watch the feeds and devoted fans of the show. So maybe you could. I'm going to give you a chance to explain some of the dynamics in this. But there's talk that you did have a girlfriend before you went into the house. Then you met up with Blue, which we've seen before, there's showmances and people become, interested in each other and whatnot. Can you explain that whole dynamic so people completely understand hearing it,
Yeah.
hearing it from you rather than reading stuff on the internet?
Yeah, going into there, I just left a 7 year relationship. It was a really long relationship. Obviously, 7 years is not a short time by any stretch of the
No,
imagination.
no.
And it was a fresh breakup for me. And I was very open and honest with Blue about this, and just let her know, like, hey, obviously there's something here between us. I'm
Yeah.
interested in you, clearly interested in me, but just so you know, I just got out of a 7 year long relationship, so I'm not really looking to jump back into anything. But obviously, nature is nature, and I can't defy what's going to happen there. And she was really receptive about it and really open and helping me just kind of deal with the aftermath of such a long-term relationship and such a fresh breakup. And
Yeah.
she was really, like I said, she was really cool about it and said, hey, I understand. She just got out of a relationship herself. That was 4 years. And it was just like, hey, we got to figure it out. We can move forward if you want to, but if you still need to give yourself some more time to just recuperate from that breakup, then so be it.
What do you think, what do you hope for the future between you two after the show? Do you just want to be friends? Do you want to explore that romantic tie-in? What's your feelings on that, Jared?
I'm not one to jinx the future much, and I really don't want to. Obviously, I believe in letting things happen the way they happen. I
Yeah.
believe in human and just letting things form the way they form. But I do see a bright future for me and Blue.
I mean, well, you did tell her your big secret. How much thought went into that? Was it an impulsive thing or was part of it strategy? Or it was like, you know what? I might as well be completely honest with her because we formed this really close bond.
It was kind of all of those things in one.
Right,
Blue let me in on a really big secret of hers being that she's a strategist outside of the game. And
right,
it was something that she offered to me as a crucial piece of information, almost like a peace offering, in other words, where it's like, hey, I'm letting you know that I really trust you. And I'm telling you something that I'm not going to tell absolutely no one else in this game.
right.
And I did the same for her by letting her know, like, hey, listen, I got a secret. And obviously, I kind of creeped around it before I got to that exact point of just letting her know, like, hey, this is what's going on. But it was one of those things where I felt like, as long as we knew that we held these kind of crucial pieces of information for each other, it was kind of to keep the relationship strong and to keep the relationship honest and moving forward. I think it is really going to be something good for my mom because she knows that this is somebody I really cared about, and I feel like she can protect me through my mom.
I was going to ask you, before you left the house, did you try to bring them closer together so they both had that ally?
Oh yeah, I mean, pretty much from the moment me and Blue started to get serious, I was like, hey, I really want you to work with Sari. But obviously, I couldn't tell her why at that time. So that was another reason that it was pretty hard for me to try to navigate both of those relationships because it's like, hey, obviously, I'm really close to you. People are going to associate with me and Blue regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
But people were starting to catch on also, especially her being like, hey, you're pretty close with Sari. And seeing that you were like, adamant about protecting her and Izzy. So what's that about? And I think the longer that I would have tried to keep that from Blue, the worse it would have made our relationship, and it would have just probably created another enemy for myself and for my mom.
Now, one final question before we go. I'm going to give
Yep.
you a little get back here, Jared. Who do you want to follow you out of the house next and why?
Oh, my boy Korskeezy, as much as I love you, bro, come and party with me on the outside, man. I'm welcoming you with open arms. I hope you come out that door right after me. But I know this game is very intricate. I know it's going to play out whatever way it plays out, and I have no influence over that anymore. But if I could just tweak the fingers of Big Brother and put the magic in the house, I would love to see Corey walk out that door behind me.
Well, Jared, thanks again for talking with us today. All the best in the future. And
Thank you.
I would really like to see you play Big Brother on your own and see how that would work out.
Hey, man, I would love it. Let's speak it into existence, man. I would love it. Let's make it happen.
Great. Well, take care, Jared. Have a great day, and I guess we'll be seeing you on the finale. So, best of luck to
Yeah,
you.
for sure. Thank you, and thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, take care.